Good morning, class 6. I'm your science teacher. And students, as you know, we are discussing our chapter 7, unit 7, soil. Kindly open your books from page number 82. Let's start our today's lesson. Yesterday, we discussed about the components of the soil, and in that lesson, we discussed that soil is made of rocks and stones. It has water, it has air in it. Small animals like earthworms and snails, they live in the soil and they are very helpful for the soil. Today we are going to talk about the formation of the soil. Formation means how to make. Today we are going to talk about that soil kaise banti hai. Let us start reading. Keep your pencils ready and start underlining. The action of wind temperature changes chemical and water breaks the surface of the rocks. Look at the picture on the page. Can you see? Here is a big mountain. The rain is falling onto the mountain, the sun is shining onto the mountain. So, what happens with the passage of the time when rain keeps on falling and the sun keeps on shining on these mountains? These mountains are made of big stones, big rocks. These rocks start breaking down. हीट की वजह से, बारिश की वजह से these big rocks वो टूटना स्टार्ट हो जाती हैं into smaller particles. If you look at this picture carefully, you will see these are the smaller particles. That is how the soil is formed. The breaking down of the rocks is called weathering. Please underline it. The breaking down of rocks into the tiny grain by the process called weathering. And you know, the process of weathering it is not completed in a day or a two. It takes millions of years. It takes thousands and thousands of years for the weathering to be completed. Now we are going to talk about the types of the soil. I'm sure many of you have noticed that the soil at different places have the different color. First type of the soil is clay soil. Clay is made of very small particles. It is made of the like minute particles. They stick to each other. Clay के particles इतने छोटे होते हैं कि वो एक दूसरे के साथ stick कर जाते हैं. Clay soil is called heavy soil because it has lots of water and very little air. Because particles they are very small, वो एक दूसरे के साथ चिपक जाते हैं, इसलिए air उनके अंदर enter नहीं हो सकती. It also has a large amount of minerals, but plants and animals they cannot live in soil because उसके अंदर एयर नहीं जाएगी, वो ऑक्सीजन नहीं मिलेगी, वो ब्रीथ नहीं कर सकते. Because of all these reasons, plants and animals they cannot live in clay. The second type of the soil is sandy soil. Sandy soil has bigger particles. These type of the particles they have very large spaces. For example, look at this. I'm making the particles. You see there are large spaces between them. और इन spaces के दरमियान there is air or there is water and they can move freely. Water drains very quickly from it. Drains mean निकल जाना. इसके अंदर water stay नहीं करता. Water इसके अंदर से फौरन निकल जाता है. एंड इट टेक्स अवे मोस्ट ऑफ द मिनरल्स विद इट. और जब पानी निकलता है तो उसके साथ मिनरल्स भी चली जाती हैं. देयर फॉर दिस सॉइल is called hungry soil. Kindly underline it. It is called hungry soil. Why? Because water and mineral they do not stay in this type of the soil. Plants and animals they cannot live in soil because water इसके अंदर stay नहीं करता and you know without air and without water plants cannot grow. Although there is a lots of air in it, it lacks mineral and water essential for the healthy growth. Now please turn your pages and come at the next page. The next heading is written there, loam. This soil contains a mixture of large and small particles as well as a lot of minerals. See, clay के अंदर the particles were very small and in soil the particles were like huge. But loam के अंदर the particles they are neither very large nor they are very small. And it has a lot of humus. In the later part of this video, we are going to discuss about the humus. Please underline that it has humus in it. And you know, humus is very important फॉर द ग्रोथ ऑफ द प्लांट ह्यूमस का सॉइल के अंदर होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है. It is the best type of the soil for the healthy growth of the plants and animals because it contains water, air, and minerals. Plants can easily grow in it, animals can live in it. Why? Because there is air in it, there is water in it, there are minerals in it. Please underline this. So far, we have discussed the three types of the soil: clay, sand, and loam. Now we are going to talk about what do we mean by the humus. Humus consists of dead and decaying remain of plants. All the dead bodies they go into the soil and they decay with the passage of the time and they form the humus. Now let me explain it to you in the easier terms. जब plants और animals की dead bodies soil के अंदर जाती हैं तो time के साथ साथ वो वहाँ पे decompose होके खुद भी soil बन जाती हैं. And that decomposed dead bodies are called humus. Humus is good for the soil. Humus की help से plants they grow into the soil. It helps to keep the soil in good condition for healthy growth of the plants. It binds large particles of the sand so they are not easily blown away. Large particles they stick together because of the humus. It releases important minerals in the soil which are needed by the plants for their healthy growth. That is why I have told you in the class that we should not throw away the vegetable or the fruit peels or the eggshells. We should dig them, we should dig the soil and bury them in the soil because with the passage of the time they will rot and they will form humus and the humus will make our soil fertile. Dear students, I am also going to send you the question answers of this chapter. Please write them in your notebook. First of all, write the scientific vocabulary and then after that you will write the question answers. And you will submit me the pictures of your homework on the next day. Make sure I want the pictures of each and everyone. मुझे हर students की picture, हर बच्चे की picture time पर मिल जानी चाहिए. Thank you so much students. Take care.